Hey, are you getting ready to take the FTCE 035 Reading K-12 exam? If so, then why don't we practice together? My name is Ethan, and I'm a licensed Florida educator and test prep expert with Study.com. Today, we're going to be testing your knowledge of learning environments and procedures that support reading. Why don't we jump into it with a few practice questions? Problem 1 says, an effective strategy for promoting positive attitudes towards reading in struggling students is, and we get 4 answer choices. A says, by providing materials that are unlikely to overwhelm them. That's not necessarily true. No, we as teachers, sometimes, we have to overwhelm them, by which I mean we have to challenge them. We can't just give them easy work all the time. B says, by providing materials at their reading level and gradually increasing difficulty from there. Yes, that's the answer. That's the one we want, okay? We meet them at their level, provide them work that's accessible to them, and then push them forward from there. We can look at the other answer choices too. C says we need to encourage them to read higher level texts. Again, we have to meet them at their level. We can't just throw difficult work at them. In the same way with A, we can't just give them work that's easy. The same thing with C. We can't just give them work that's too hard. Going back to B, we give them work that's on their level, and then gradually, slowly, we push them forward. And then D says, by varying reading materials to keep them interested. And yeah, that's a good idea. Vary reading materials, keep them interested, keep them engaged, but variety doesn't always guarantee improvement. So that's why we don't like that answer choice either. B is our best answer. Give them something on their level, then push them forward. Problem 2 says, which of the following strategies best promotes a student-centered learning environment? Student-centered learning means putting the responsibility and the focus of learning on the students instead of on the teacher. Let's look at our answer choices. A says direct instruction from teachers promotes a student-centered learning environment, and that's not true, okay? Sometimes direct instruction is needed, and sometimes it's helpful, but it doesn't really promote a student-centered learning environment. Direct instruction from teachers, that's more like teacher-centered, okay? And direct instruction doesn't always guarantee student engagement, and it doesn't always guarantee that you'll be able to keep their attention. B says, use frequent standardized testing. No, okay? Standardized testing can be a good way to monitor student progress, but it doesn't really work as a good way of getting students to actively learn, all right? It's not a good way of promoting student-centered learning. C says, use independent research projects to promote a student-centered learning environment, and that's a good answer choice. In fact, it's our best answer choice. Independent is the key word there. With work like this, students must actively pursue their learning. The responsibility is all on them, not so much on you as the teacher. And that can help to guarantee engagement, and it can help to guarantee learning. And then we're left with D. D says rote memorization of facts and figures. And again, while that's sometimes necessary, it doesn't always guarantee student engagement, and it's not a good way of promoting a student-centered learning environment. And that's why C is our best answer. Using an independent research project can keep students engaged, and it's a great way of putting the responsibility of learning on the students. Problem 3 says, the primary benefit of flexible grouping in a classroom with diverse learners is that and we get 4 answer choices. One of these 4 answer choices is the primary benefit of flexible grouping. What is flexible grouping? All right, flexible groups are when you group students based on their different skill levels, their abilities, or what they need to learn. That phrase in the question, diverse learners, students are diverse in what they know, in how they learn, and in what they need to learn still. So let's look at these 4 answer choices and see which one of them is the primary benefit of using flexible groups. A says, that it ensures that all students complete the assigned work. And I can tell you from experience, that's just not true, all right? In fact, sometimes when you put students in groups together, some students may be liable to get distracted and they may not always finish their work. Flexible groups aren't a guarantee that students will finish their work. B says that flexible grouping ensures all students have adequate space to work, and that's not true either. Regardless of whether or not you put students in groups, they will probably have enough space to do their work. C says that flexible grouping allows for differentiation based on student needs. That's a word you're going to be hearing a lot, differentiation. Let's say you have more than 20 students in a class. They're not all going to be on the same level. They don't all have the same abilities, and they don't all have the same academic needs. Putting them into groups allows you to meet their different needs. It allows you to differentiate your teaching to meet their many different needs. And then we can look at D as well. D says that flexible grouping allows a teacher to work with one group at a time. And sure, that may be true, but look back at the question. It's asking for the primary benefit, as in the best answer. And the best answer is still C, that it allows for differentiation based on student needs. Problem 4 says, what strategy can be used to help students who are not naturally inclined towards reading develop a positive attitude towards it? Let's look at our answer choices. A says you should use negative reinforcement when they do not read. No, all right. Negativity, from my experience, only gets in the way of learning. Let's cross out that answer. B says force them to read more challenging books to improve their skills. Right there, that word force. No, we shouldn't be forcing them to have to do anything really. That's just more negativity. And again, negativity can only be bad for learning. And also, if we just give them more challenging books that are too challenging for them to read, then they may just shut down trying to read them. We don't like that answer choice either. C says we could encourage them to participate in a book club or reading group, and that's a good answer, all right? By having them participate in a book club or in a reading group with other students, you make reading a social activity, and it can seem fun, and students can learn from one another while in a reading group together. And then answer D says frequently remind them of the importance of reading. And yeah, it's important to remind them that reading is important, but reminders on their own don't mean much. You need actions to back up reminders. So we don't like that answer choice. C is an action that you can take. Put them in a reading group, start a book club for your students. That is an action that reinforces the reminder that reading is important. I hope that walking through those questions was helpful. If you need any more help studying for your FTCEs, be sure to check out some of our other videos. Also remember to like and subscribe. You might also want to check out some of the links below for more resources that could be helpful. I'm wishing you the best of luck on your test.